Hey guys, okay, I'm honestly really excited to share with you my tips on veggies because I really love veggies. So I get it if you don't, but I wonder if there's two, I think, main things to consider when you are preparing your veggies. When you know, people will say to me like, I'm not a veggie person, I don't really like veggies, and I will find that they're eating like frozen broccoli and canned green beans. And in my opinion, those are like the two worst ways to eat veggies. I'm sorry, like for me, they're just the most blah. But that doesn't mean that they're bad by any, like it doesn't mean they're bad. It's just for my taste buds, it's not something I really enjoy. So the top two things that I think are super important when considering why you don't like to eat veggies, or if you're struggling to eat enough veggies, or if you are just not motivated to eat veggies, if you just feel like the veggies just don't taste good, these are the top two things that I want you to think about, consider, and maybe like expand your horizons a bit, like explore new options. And that is number one, how are you cooking / seasoning your veggies? And then number two, are you using frozen, canned, or fresh, or a mixture of some of those, or only one of them, okay? So while I have some food out, I wanna quickly share with you what it is so I can put it back in the freezer. Okay, so obviously something really great to have on hand are the steamable frozen bags. I usually get some sort of mix because this is great in a pinch, you know, throw it in the microwave. Personally, not my favorite because I just feel like they don't have a lot of flavor. So I'll tell you how to season them in a minute, but I do keep some of these on hand because, again, steamable bags are just super easy, and I feel like a blend is best. This one is broccoli, carrots, sugar snap peas, and water chestnuts. I got it at Aldi. Normandy blend is another good one. California blend will have corn in it, which is considered a yellow, so make sure you know that. Corn and peas are yellow on the regular plan. Peas are a protein on the vegan plan. The other one I really love are Brussels sprouts, baby Brussels sprouts. I don't like them boiled. I don't like them steamed. I think they're awful. The only way I like them is in the oven. For whatever reason, I can only find them in steamable bags. I will take a pan, line it with foil, and spray it with some olive oil. I always line with foil because it's an easy cleanup. And then I just salt, pepper, sea salt and pepper, throw it in the oven and roast them. The other frozen thing I have is broccoli. I know I just told you I don't like frozen broccoli. The only way I really like this is making it in a stir fry, which I'm going to do tonight, or I don't even know if you want to call it a stir fry. Basically, I take some coconut oil, and then I will do kind of just whatever veggies. Usually it's frozen broccoli, carrots, and onion, and then today I have some cauliflower. And it'll kind of just look like this. Wait, oh no, this is a roasted one I did. But basically I just do like garlic, minced garlic in the jar, or garlic powder if I don't have any. I usually keep minced garlic in the jar, and coconut oil on medium heat. Just kind of, it just doesn't even take but maybe 5 minutes that way. And then I'll show you again another way how to season it. My favorite way is like roasting veggies. Again, taking a cookie sheet, lining it with foil, spraying olive oil, and then just cutting up whatever fresh veggies I have. Roasting fresh veggies, even if it's just carrots and onions, is basically what I do 98% of the time. The frozen broccoli, I basically only use in like a stir fry pan on the stovetop, because in my opinion, that's how I like it best. I have steamed it before, and it's not the best in my opinion, but that's what I use for that. I want to talk about green beans real quick, because I think that's the most common green bean, like vegetable, easy vegetable for people to eat. My daughter only likes the French style canned green beans. She doesn't like what I like. In fact, I just ate some of these. These are cooked like fresh. I just steamed them last night. I'm going to show you a tip in a minute. Fresh green beans. Here's the thing, guys. 88 cents a pound for fresh green beans I found the last 2 or 3 weeks at the grocery store. Snip off the ends and steam them. I have an electric steamer I'm gonna show you. In my opinion, this tastes way better than the canned, or this is the other like substitute that my family likes, and that's these frozen cut green beans. I don't like these either. In my opinion, there's just like no flavor. So I'm gonna tell you about flavoring, but these are kind of like the three, in my opinion, fresh, canned, and frozen, right? Like these are your 3 options as far as veggies goes. And in my opinion, fresh is best, not because it has the most nutrients. Where do you get your best deals? Oh, I'll tell you here in a minute. That's a good idea. It's not necessarily because they have the best nutrients, because from what I'm told, most of the time frozen is flash frozen or whatever, you know, so like it's picked at its peak, so all the nutrients will stay in there. It's just, I've found that frozen just doesn't have the most flavor. So again, I like to steam them. I'm gonna show you my steamer, but canned and frozen is okay. The reason why I'm pointing all 3 of these out is, if you say, I don't like broccoli, is it because you've only had frozen? Do you not like Brussels sprouts because you've only had them boiled, right? So there's so many different factors to that. Have you prepared them? How have you seasoned them? And are you only having canned or frozen or whatever, right? Also keep in mind that it takes your taste buds like 10 tries or whatever, 10 experiences with them before you really make up your mind about it, okay? So that's all those things. I need to quickly put these back in the freezer because I don't want them sitting out on my counter too long. But I am going to tell you how I find the best deals and just about shopping in general. Okay, one of the big things is I always check the ads, but before we go to that, a staple that I do is a 5-pound bag or 2 or 3 pound bag of carrots, okay? The reason why, because a couple things I do with these. Buying them in bulk like this, I think I paid $3. Yes, it was $2.99 for 5 pounds. You can buy a pound, like on a good day, you can get a pound of baby carrots for like $1. Most of the time it's more than $1. So this is definitely a better buy, a better use of your money. You're getting more bang for your buck. That's my bird, he wants to say hi. So what I do with carrots is I will cut them up into carrot sticks, and my family has them instead of baby carrots. Yes, they do taste a little bit different. My daughter was resistant, but I just kept feeding them to her anyway, kept putting them in her lunch, and guess what? She eventually started eating them and she adjusted. I think baby carrots have some sort of coating on them or something, or maybe I don't know. But in my opinion, now I prefer carrot sticks. Fresh carrots are cheaper like this 5-pound bag. You can cut them up like sticks and eat them raw. You can roast them, like just making them into chunks with onions and putting them in your oven and roasting them with salt and pepper, or any kind of little seasoning. I'll show you in a bit. That's a great way to have them. What else do I do with them? Cut them up and put them in a stir fry. I think that's all about carrots. My other find that I just had recently is a head of cauliflower. I've seen this at the store over $3, and I got it for like $1.88 this time. So with this, I will eat raw, dipped in hummus. I will also roast it. I have a great recipe for curried cauliflower. So you mix it in with some olive oil, some curry, and then some garlic powder. If you want any of these specific recipes, please comment below. I'm happy to share any of these, but I don't want to waste my time sharing things that you don't like. I love curry. So that's one thing that I'll do. Another thing will be roasting them mixed veggies, or I'll put this in the stir fry, which is gonna happen here in a little bit. And it's already gone, the family already ate. So that's one thing. The other thing is about broccoli being frozen, and about, Emily, just tell me what you want and I will give you that recipe. The other thing is shopping the ads. Okay, so I look, if you're local in Nebraska City, you get the Penny Press every week. The Fairway ad and the Hy-Vee ad come in. And so I usually will shop Fairway ads, and then I will take the Hy-Vee ad in and they will price match. So far, they've never turned it down. The reason I do that is because Walmart, it was doing their savings catcher thing where you scan the receipt, but now I don't even think they're doing that anymore. So Fairway produce is usually better anyway, so I've been doing that. Broccoli was $1.88 a pound, and I did the math, and frozen is still more expensive. So you're really paying for convenience when you get the frozen stuff. Many times people will say, like, it's just so hard to eat healthy, or fresh produce is so expensive, but I challenge you to really do the math. I'm only learning this recently, especially with the green beans. Frozen green beans were more expensive, 88 cents a pound for fresh green beans. The broccoli was cheaper fresh. Your fruit will even, I can't say always, because berries are expensive, and I just honestly don't buy them a lot because they're expensive, and I don't mind eating apples and bananas. I basically only buy apples when they're 88 or 99 cents a pound. And bananas, we just always buy bananas. They're fairly inexpensive. But those frozen berries are sometimes more expensive because you're paying for convenience of frozen vegetables and fruits, and the convenience being that you don't have to eat them right away. So I challenge you to buy fresh, because hopefully you're going to say to yourself, oh my gosh, I have to eat this before it goes bad. And then guess what? You're going to eat good food because you don't want it to go bad and you don't want to waste your money. I mean, right? That works, right? Okay, so I want to share with you about my steamer that's super simple, and the Instant Pot that I love, and then I will also share with you about seasonings. So if you have questions, drop them below. I'm going to put some of this stuff back in the fridge. And Emily, I know you're here. Give me your questions. Just real quick. I've never tried these before, but Alana, I better turn this around so you can actually, Alana Molstein shared about it, and they are shirataki spaghetti, 15 calories, 4 carbs per serving, low calorie, gluten-free, vegan, and they are water, whatever that kind of flour is, chickpea flour, potato starch, but from what I know, this is a mushroom, so it would count as a veggie. So if anybody's tried this, let me know. I plan to try it with my family sometime this week. But if you love pasta but want to get more veggies in your life and cut out some carbs, maybe that's a good choice. Okay, let's talk about seasonings. Oh, do you store all your fresh veggies in their original package, or do you have another technique to help preserve them longer? Okay, so one thing I've done with my fresh herbs is the jar. I have a jar of water, put them in there, and put this package over them. Honestly, I just keep them in the drawer. I don't typically buy these bags. I have some reusable bags. However, I forgot them at the store. So I have them, and honestly, I usually keep my apples on the counter, but these, I don't know if it was just because they're Brayburn, but they started to go soft, so I put them in here. I don't really have any tips other than, I guess, just keeping them in your drawer and then just planning for them. If you want to either shop the ads and then make your meal plan, or that's kind of the way I do it, so that way you're sure to actually use the produce that you have. Or if you're just kind of more flexible and you make your meal plan and you just count for veggies, and then most of the time for my veggies, I either stir fry them or I roast them, and then the things like the fresh green beans and fresh broccoli, I will just steam them because I don't mind those vegetables just steamed. But the biggest thing I think is your seasoning. So let's talk seasoning. And my faves for seasoning are Mrs. Dash salt-free. So these are, they have a whole bunch of these table blend, garlic and herb, original blend. They even have some for seasoning your chicken. And then they also have this Southwest one. You can also, in your Fixate cooking show or cookbook, whatever, you can make these blends. So I don't know what the seasoning was, just save your jars. It was garlic powder, and I made a taco seasoning. So instead of buying the packets that will have added sugar, this one is all purpose. I know I also have, I really like this one too, the Mediterranean seasoning. This is all in the 21 Day Fix cookbook, the original, or I'm not, sorry, the original 21 Day Fix, just the program itself, that book. So I really love Mrs. Dash because it is salt-free. I also had this favorite that's all gone and I can't find it, but this Simply Organic brand, I believe I got it at Whole Foods, and it had this, grinder on it, and it was just like this general herbal seasoning blend. It was really good. I saved the jar because I loved it, and hopefully I can find it again someday. What else? Just then using things like, onion powder and garlic powder if you don't happen to have those things. Okay, so that's kind of all the seasonings. The other thing that I think I really recommend is switching out and using the coconut oil for your high heat things, so your stir fry and such, and then using your olive oil for more medium to low heat things, or even just like your fresh salads and such. Using Bragg liquid aminos in place of La Choy soy sauce, because this is the natural soy sauce made of vegetable protein from soybeans. Far less sodium. Where's sodium? Far less sodium than even the La Choy brand low sodium. And then for my stir fry, after I make it with the coconut oil, I will put on this liquid aminos, so kind of that Asian feeling, and then a little bit of sesame oil. So if you're counting, this will count as a teaspoon, and then this is the Bragg's is free, just use sparingly, and then of course if you're using a teaspoon for that for the container system. Any questions while I'm here in my seasoning? This is also sweet leaf drops. I use that in my coffee sometimes. I use it in my tea. I've also used like a Greek yogurt and peanut butter or PB2, and then a little bit of sweet leaf drops. And then I make a dip for Isabel for dipping her apples. This is another thing that if you have trouble drinking your water, I know we also have, oh yeah, here it is. Again, I don't use these because I don't mind drinking water, but I use these for Isabel, and it's just a water enhancer, helps her drink her water. Oh, another thing that I sometimes do is I will use, oh my, apologies. I will use apple cider vinegar. Oops. Get the phone there. I will use apple cider vinegar and red wine vinegar and put that in a casserole dish and in the oven and with some chicken and any kind of seasoning you want. And so that will just keep the moisture in when you're baking your chicken. And where did you purchase stevia drops? Amazon. I got this 4-ounce thing for $11, and it lasts me over a year, because you honestly need not 3 drops in whatever it, like most of the time you only need a couple drops. So that's a really good purchase. Okay, so the other thing, like I said, with the baked chicken, I will just take like a 13x9 glass dish, put in some frozen chicken breasts, put on some apple cider vinegar, which has great digestive properties to it, as well as some red wine vinegar, and then usually just like a Mrs. Dash, or usually just the Mrs. Dash, and then pop it in the oven. And I'm awful about like temperature and how long, because I just put it in there and then I go and do my things and I just come back and check on it. So that's one way of preparing chicken. I know we're just like going into food prep, but since you're all here and watching, that's a great way to do it. Otherwise, I will throw some in my Instant Pot with salsa and make like a salsa chicken, which I know you can also do in a crock pot. My Instant Pot, I also cook my brown rice, my quinoa, my beans, my lentils, my sweet potatoes. If you use the little trivet like rack thing and put a glass dish on there, you can also steam your things. Like I steam my sweet potatoes that way. You can steam any kind of veggies that way. But the other thing that I use that I really love is this electric steamer. Okay, I don't love it. I loved my first one, and this replacement is kind of a pain, but I love that I can steam so much at once. That's the one drawback of the Instant Pot, is just like capacity. So I can steam something here and then put on the little shelf and steam something else. So I could do like broccoli and then green beans or whatever. This also comes with a tray that fits in there, and then you can steam your rice that way. So the reason I love this is because like today or yesterday or whatever, I don't know, I put veggies in there and I turn it on and it cooks, and I don't have to worry about the water boiling over or things getting done or whatever. So if you don't have a steamer, if you've never used one, you put water in here, you put the little tray in there, you put the food in here, you put the lid on, and then this will fill up with water once it's steamed. And it's easy because you just turn it on like you set it and forget it. So I don't know if that really helped with the person who had the questions about like trouble with eating veggies. I think most importantly that you're eating veggies you like, and then only introducing a new veggie like once a week and just kind of playing around with it. Like, how do you like it prepared? Do you like it steamed, boiled, roasted, in a mix? Stir fry is a really great one in my opinion. Always adding like garlic and onion in my opinion, and also just seasoning. So hope this helps. If you like, again, if you want a specific recipe on how I make something specifically, whether it be the curried cauliflower, stir fry, roasting your veggies, or if you want some information on how what produce I buy, whatever, just ask them in the comments below and I will answer them. See y'all.